Welcome to the Lucidus podcast, where we explore everything because I believe everything is connected to everything else, and also because I believe in this infinite, unbounded potential within each of us, which I am so curious about. So, sitting outside today, you might not be able to see me well, but hopefully you can hear the birds, and you might see the squirrel come flying by. You'll also hear the cars. Good enough. So what I'm going to talk about today, I forgot to bring my papers. I set them down. I'll go grab them. I want to talk about an epiphany I had about kindness. So for the last 20 years, first I'm going to tell you the phrase that came to mind in a moment when I had my eyes closed and I was speaking to someone about reaching into the quantum field. Before things are energy. So before energy, there's this quantum field that holds all possibilities. And I was like reaching into this quantum field, wanting to understand kindness. And as I brought the potential of kindness into the energetic realm, here into energy and thought and emotion, the words that came to mind were, kindness is the potential for things to be as they are. And I thought, what? And in that moment, it was sheer brilliance. It was utter brilliance. And I want to try to explain it because for at least the last 20 years, at the bottom of my email, I've had the same signature, and it says, my religion is kindness, the 14th Dalai Lama. The religion is kindness. You can ask people that in this world, and they will say, I am the kindest person they've ever met. You can ask people in this world, and they would say, I am one of the cruelest people they've ever met. So, which is true, both, right, whatever. And that concerns me less. It used to concern me a lot, what people thought about me. Concerns me less. I'm more interested in not even what I think about me, but in what might be closer to true. And of course, what is true? I think the only truth in this realm is change, But anyway, but closer to true, the truth that is my North Compass, my North Star. Okay, so kindness, obviously it's very important to me. It's something I strive for, and it's something I do not understand. I used to believe that kindness, a way to measure kindness, was whether the other person was happy or satisfied or whatever. And that, of course, led me to a lot of people pleasing, a lot of really unhealthy behaviors, belief system structures, blah, 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 blah. Kindness was always, is the other person happy? Is the other person taken care of? Is the other person pleased? Whatever. And I now understand that's not true at all. Kindness that's not even close to what kindness is. There's also the element of being kind to oneself, right? And that's where everything gets really messy. Like, how do you be kind to someone else and kind to yourself when the two things conflict and someone's going to be upset? Who do you choose, the other person or yourself? And I've taken turns. Definitely had turns where I was kind to myself, and the other person was unhappy. But times where I was kind to the other person, and then wasn't kind to me, and I wasn't happy. So I think what was so profound, I know what was so profound for me in that moment, where I was kind of asking that space, that quantum field of all potentiality, what is kindness? Like, if I were going to reach into the realm of pure potential, and I were going to pull back, I were going to, from that realm of all possibility, grasp and pull in kindness into the energetic realm. So kindness is now an energy. The energy is the thought, the words, the emotions. Kindness is the potential for things to be as they are. And in that moment, I felt an enormous release of judgment. Kindness is the potential for all things to be as they are. End of story. So I sat for a moment in that and realized, for me, this is the truest form of kindness I yet understand and am now beginning to practice. It's only been one day, but it's come into play already many times, in that I don't need to judge. And that is probably the deepest act of kindness we could give ourselves and others. If kindness is the potential for things to be as they are, then I don't need to judge if you're good or bad. Because kindness is that things are as they are. I don't need to judge whether I'm good or bad. Kindness is, things are as they are. And so there were, in that moment, okay, so so since then, I'm trying to go two different ways because I want to show you two different examples. I'll stay here. In the last 24 hours, there have been moments where the thoughts of situations have arisen in my head that are currently in play, that I have some angst with. And I was able, when they came up, I was able to just say to the whole situation, kindness is the potential for things to be as they are. Meaning, this is the situation. And the greatest act of kindness I can give this situation right now is the potential for things to be as they are. Oh, so this is how things are. This is how things are. And it didn't feel like apathy, like, oh, I'm never going to do anything about it. It didn't feel like giving up, like, oh, this is how things are and how they're always going to be. It was more of it literally felt like an embracing, but there was nothing tight about it. It was like an open embrace. I don't know how else to say it other than like arms wide open, like, oh, the greatest kindness I can give this situation and everyone involved is like open arms. The kindness is, I just watched an enormous bumblebee fly in my back door. Dang, I gotta get out of my house. The greatest kindness I can give this situation is the potential that things are as they are. And I didn't need to judge anyone in the situation. I didn't need to change anything in the situation. That was it. Things are as they are. Kindness is the potential for things to be as they are. Things to be as they are. Oh, I better go close my screen. I'm going to go close my screen because now bees and the wasps are going in my house. Which, I mean, I won't worry about me so much. I worry about them. Dang it. Okay, I'm going to close my screen and I'm going to get some papers. You hold on one brief moment. Okay, there's like only two of them out here, and they're the two fly in. Dang it! I left them open a crack, so hopefully they find their way out. I'll try to help them. Okay, so I wrote this yesterday. I made this yesterday after I had that epiphany, because this is what I do when I have those moments, those epiphanies where I go, whoa, that was a message for me. So I made this for myself. Kindness is a potential for all things to be as they are. Shirley Sawyer Jensen. So I'm going to hang this up and just look at it, read it every day, and just consider again and again that I've always judged kindness based on how someone else felt or how I felt, or what someone else said or what I said, right? It's like, and I don't actually believe that's true. And this is really profound for me to begin open embrace, holding space, the purest and deepest form of kindness I can offer right now is the potential for all things to be as they are. And now I'm going to back up to, where did this kind of journey to find this kindness begin? I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, And in it, the guest speaker was talking about the alchemy of transformation, the 7 stages of transformation. She was going through all those. And it was really profound. And same as I was listening, something to me was like, hey, this is for you. Grab some markers. I get some markers. I start writing down all the stuff she's saying and noting the stages. And specifically, I was noting the stages where I get stuck, the places where I kind of get stuck and don't let the full alchemy happen, the full transformation. So, and as she's speaking, the host, which I love the host, they're incredible. I mean, I listen to them all the time. But they said something quite negative, which they rarely do, which was interesting for me that the host didn't pick up on their own negativity. And if the guest did, they didn't say anything. This is what the host said. The host said, oh, it's like when someone walks in a room and you can feel an incoherence. You have no coherence with them. Like they're not in a good place and you don't want to go near them. And I thought, well, that's quite negative, right? Like that isn't at all how I want to see, or even how I often see situations like that. Someone comes in the room and I may go, I have no coherence with that person. But that doesn't mean they're good and I'm bad. It means I have no coherence with that person. Like we are not in a place where we're going to connect or even find anything like this. The vibrations are different. But that's where the kindness comes in. In that moment, the kindness that I'm talking about is when I feel that incoherence, the kindness is the potential for things to be as they are. Well, if this is how things are, this is how things are, right? And who's to say that they are not in the perfect coherence with their path? And I am also in the perfect coherence with my path. And our paths don't have any coherence. And it was, and when the host was speaking, they were talking about like higher vibrations and lower vibrations. And I'm like, we all have high vibrations and we all have low vibrations. And we're all constantly changing vibrations. So I think it's dangerous to say that you're at a higher one or a better one, because you absolutely will find yourself at a lower one or a different one. Like that is the whole journey, is going through all of these different vibrations, all of these different transformations, all of these processes. And so to offer the greatest kindness is that things are as they are. Like when I meet someone, I'm like, you are where you are. When I meet me, right now, I am where I am today. This is where I am. That is kindness without the need to judge. Nah, I don't want to just stop there, which I think there's a difference between judging and guidance, maybe is the word. Meaning, recently, old boyfriend reached out. I haven't heard from him in like 5 years. And something to me was just like, and he very much wanted to kind of reconnect, even just as friends or something. And something to me was just like, no, this is just not the person. This is not the time. It's like it's just wrong. It's just don't touch it. Like be polite, just gotta be firm. Like, hey, there's just no interest even for tea right now. Like I just am not in that place. And I have no reason. Like I couldn't even, the person didn't ask, like it didn't get into that much. Okay. So the judgment, so I would say the unkind thing would have been to be like, he's not in a good space. I'm in a better space. And I say this because I started doing it at the beginning. I was like, I don't think he's in a really great space. He's got some work to do based on these texts he's sending. Like, I think he needs a good therapist. Like, I was having these thoughts, right? Definitely. Judge. I don't think that's kind. And I did notice it in myself. I was like, wow, you have no idea what's going on in this person's life, other than he was sharing some stuff that he was struggling with. So he had shared some stuff, but and I was, as though I don't have my own struggles, right? Like, oh, my struggles are better than your struggles, that kind of thing. Oh, that's really beautiful. Anyway, so I could see myself judging. And then after I stumbled upon the kindness thing, I realized, oh, the kind thing is for me to recognize, like, this is where that my guidance is like, hey, you're going this way. And he's over here. And so he just doesn't fit into your stream, right? So it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything. You're still not interactive. You're still not part of the process and engaging with yourself and listening to the guidance that you receive. But it's that your guidance doesn't negate other people, doesn't negate other processes, doesn't negate other truths. It's just, this is my, what is it? This is my things, things to be as they are. This is me being as I am. That is him being as he is. And there's nothing wrong with either of those. There's nothing better about either one of those. Like, I don't know that he's better than I am. I don't know that I'm better than he is. But he's probably the very best him he can be. And I'm probably the very best me I can be. And that's kindness. That's kindness. So this new understanding of kindness is so good for me because I no longer need to judge whether I'm being kind. I no longer need you to judge me, whether I'm being kind. I no longer need to judge you, whether you're being kind to me. That's a big one because there are some situations where in my life where I don't think people are being as kind to me as they could be, should be. And I've suddenly realized, oh, they just are as they are. They don't need to be any kinder to me than exactly what's happening right now. I can hear the squirrel flying overhead. He loves to leap. So really removing that judgment. So such a relief for me to understand that the kindness I felt at. Oh, that big bee's trying to get out. Hold on, hold on. Okay, buddy. One of the biggest bumblebees I've ever seen. He's making his way out. I'm happy to see that. So I no longer, I've really struggled because I have tried so hard to be kind and have felt like I failed. And people are certainly people out there that would tell me I have. And it's like, oh, I no longer need you to tell me if I'm being kind because what you and I were defining as kindness isn't kindness. And I no longer need me to judge if I'm being kind because what I was deeming if I was kind or unkind, it suddenly just like removed it all. And it was just the place for all things to be as they are. Kindness is this potential from the quantum realm that when pulled into the energetic realm, things are as they are. Things are as they are without judgment. And we each continue to be our own guides, guardians, protectors, inventors, creators, as we're guided. And when I am those things and moving on my path, I don't really have a lot of time or interest in judging someone else's higher energy, lower energy, better energy, worse energy. The big bee just flew out. He's so gorgeous. I wish you could see him. He's huge. He's huge. He's gorgeous. Maybe he'll come fly by us. Nope, he's gone. Okay, sidetracked. Okay, the other thing I want to touch on, well, I should just stop with that one. So there's the kindness piece. I was going to touch on the alchemy of transformation, but I'll save that for another one because there's enough in that one in there. Although the one led me to the other, so they're definitely connected and related, I think it's better told as two separate stories. So you've seen this, the kindness. And this was actually born out of this conversation, the alchemy of transformation. I can't really see what you guys can see because my screen has a big sunspot. I love you all. I am just so hopeful. That's not the right word. I'm passionate about sharing myself and sharing my journey and sharing my life. And I'm seeing more and more that I have very unique insights. Something I've always thought I had, but have doubted. I have this ability to have such unique insights into like the very, very depths of things, like deeper than action, deeper than words, deeper than thoughts, deeper than energy, like going even before it's all of those, right? I think the world of quanta the quantum world is so fascinating to me because it's as true, I think, as anything we can touch, which is just pure potential, which is, lucidus, the unbounded, infinite potential within each of us. We have this quantum world inside of us, all around us. We're in it, we are it. The infinite, unbounded potential within each of us. The infinite, unbounded potential for kindness. The infinite, unbounded potential for kindness. Kindness is the potential for all things to be as they are. And then from here, when I see things as they are, what is my next step? Where am I guided to? How am I led? What am I pulled toward, called toward? Creating. Right? So this is the first step. I think this is the first step in being human. And then the next step is for each of us to determine, for it will be different. And this may not be anyone else's first step but mine. But it's definitely the first step in me becoming closer to the being that I feel like I've always been and have never understood how to be, because no one could tell me this. No one could explain to me kindness in this way, in a way that my soul said, yes, my child, finally, yes, this is your greatest kindness to all beings, in equal measure. I hope you've enjoyed the sunlight and the trees and the birds and the cars and squirrels and just the amazing beauty of springtime. Oh my gosh, springtime in the Rockies doesn't get much better. Springtime in the Wasatch Mountains. I would show you over here. You can see Mount Olympus and the Wasatch Mountains with snow caps, but it's too bright. I won't pick it up. So I love you all, and I offer you the potential for all things to be as they are. For that is my greatest kindness. Take care.